welcome. This is for all of our members, whether you are have the data, don't have the data, whatever the data, you're in our world. And we have some new people that are just joining us this week, so thank you very much. I think we have some visitors this week, so thank you very much. Glad you are here. This is our call that we do every week where it's always Jack and I, and we're here answering, as you'll see, as everybody just types them in, bring it up, whatever questions you have, and including about Jack's eating habits.
Oh my God.
So we don't hold back. And just
give us a question, Jill.
All right, so here, let me get started. We have, hang on a second here. This is from Brett. He says, through my mailer marketing, I came across a guy who invests in tax lien certificates in Colorado and is looking to sell off a large amount of the properties he acquired via treasury deed. In Colorado, a treasury deed is not considered marketable title for 7 years without going through a quiet title action. My question is, how should I value these properties? Seems like they would be harder to sell to retail buyers because of the title issue, and therefore we should be, oops, hang on a second. Oh, shoot, I'm so sorry. I lost the question here, bear with me a second. There we go. And therefore, we should be buying them at a steeper discount. Any advice?
Well, if you purchase a tax lien and the county did what's called an administrative foreclosure, which is great, and issued a deed, I've never heard that that's not marketable title for 7 years. What I think, I don't want to get hung up on terminology, but I think it's uninsurable from a title insurance standpoint for 7 years. So marketable title is, that term is, everybody has sort of a different definition of it. So I would argue seriously that there is marketable title. Mm-hmm. I would also say that I would heavily look into the fact that, quiet titling a property is really easy. It's the same process that you go through in Arizona when you purchase a tax lien and foreclose on it. It sounds like Colorado puts a step in there and they actually do a lot of the work for you. So, they do an administrative deed. So I would value them at substantially less than how you value our property, which is, $100 to $200 an acre, unless they're really urban properties. I hope they are, because they're going to be worth a lot more. So I think you stumbled on something that's fantastic. In fact, actually, Brett, I'd be happy to help you out. The other thing is this, what's great about this deal is this. This stuff is all public record, so you can find out what he paid for these tax liens. And typically, whenever we buy tax liens and foreclose on them, I pay, like $25 for a 40-acre property or some version of that. It's crazy enough the way that we buy property with mailers, but buying tax liens and foreclosing on them, it's an even better way. So I would not let this slip by. Whatever you're concerned with, just reach out to me directly and I'll help them. Yeah, Luke Smith's even saying I'd buy them. So this is a good thing, and I'll tell you what, once you go through a quiet title action in one state like that, and you start reviewing tax liens that you can foreclose on and you can buy over the counter, man, you're off to the races. Brett, you stumbled on something great, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Hey, just a quick little note to everyone. When you put a little a comment down at the bottom where you're sending it, make sure you click everyone so everyone can see them. I just realized we have different things popping up, Jack and I, because not everybody put everyone.
Oh.
So just make sure you put everyone, or you could even just put it to us if you want to do privately to Jack. Here, because we're on the same,
chat box.
In the chat box.
On the bottom, click everyone.
Exactly. Make sure you put everyone. Awesome. All right. I've got watching videos about selecting counties. Awesome. Where do you get the U.S. Census maps showing population density?
Somebody else asked me that.
A bit lost with the census stuff.
Yeah, I want to do this right now on the call.
Okay. Thank you. Great question.
Please go to the next one, Jill, and I'll try to find it.
All righty.
Population density maps by census.
Cool. Jack's going to pause and he's going to show us this. This is perfect. Nick said, just purchased my data for the first time on RealQuest, about nice 3,200 records in a county from Utah. About 80% of the records ended up being residential lots. Is this something to be concerned about? Should I go ahead with the mailer and proceed?
You mean the use code is residential?
I hope we want that. It doesn't have to be rural. The resident, I'm waiting for you. If you want to add more to that, Nick,
Yeah.
please do. I'm watching all Jackville. He says land use is residential lot. Perfect.
That's okay. That's great.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So it sounds like unless you have any other things, you did everything right. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a nice big number, and you can, depending on your budget, Nick, you can decide, do I want to mail out, 1,500 records this month, 1,500 records next month, how much you want to be, how busy you want to be.
Is this his first mailing? Don't mail more than 1,500.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation.
Exactly.
Ask Luke Smith what happens.
Exactly. We have a few people that just said, buckle your seatbelt. Because, you'll get really busy.
Luke Smith sends out the whole states at a time.
Hilarious. So, and you got to, hold on, here it comes. You have to have a team. So, that is fantastic. Let me see what else here. I'd buy them, yes. Oh, yeah, and put it in the ad when you sell. That's perfect. Good information, Luke. I love that. Thank you. Okay, Kathleen said, so I actually had a notary signing go bad yesterday. Well, this is interesting. The notary and the seller got owned. Oh, this is funny. I'm sorry, Kathleen, it's not funny. But, Jack, you got to hear this.
Okay.
He's looking at something, and I got to pull him out for this one. The notary and the seller got into it over the upcoming election.
Oh, my gosh.
And the notary started the conversation. She's a Trumpster.
Oh, my gosh.
And the elderly gentleman seller isn't a Trumpster.
This is, actionable.
Couldn't
Really actionable.
quit once it all got started. Yeah, apparently the seller grabbed the notary's stamp, and she grabbed it back and walked out. Fabulous. Oh, my goodness.
That's
She
not
texts
cool.
me. She's sending back the docs incomplete. That is not. You know what? I hate.
It's not funny, man.
Okay, Kathleen. I'm guessing you got her from our usual Notary 123, and I don't know if you want to make a little note in there about for the next guy.
Along the lines of choosing your battles. Choose this battle.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, actually.
She drove all the way to the seller's house. She's not getting any money for that.
She's not buying the property.
That's exactly right.
That's not cool, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, that was you know what? Now it pissed off your poor seller. Doggone it. All right. I'm sure you can recover from this and find another nice notary and talk to them and just say,
is the seller
don't bring up politics because this notary's a ding dong.
Will the seller still do the deal?
I'm sure you can say it was I was pretty pissed, and the seller's 91 years old. I'm with you. That's just not nice. Normally this doesn't happen, but oh my gosh, that's
you know what's happened to us in the past. I don't know if
weird.
it's happened to you, Jill. It's happened to me. Is the notary gets there and says, "Wait a minute, you're selling a vacant property for $500? Well, how about I just give you $800 cash right now and you sell it to me?" That's happened to me.
I've not had that happen.
I had a title agent do that to me too.
No.
But they said, you know what? The title agent's closing the deal, and she calls her husband and says, "We should buy this 40-acre property for $3,000."
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that. All right, let us know next week. I'm sure you can pull the guy. You're nice, Kathleen. I'm sure you can talk to him and get everybody calmed down. Maybe you should tell him. Maybe in a funny way you can say, something like, I've interviewed 4 notaries now, and they're all neutral politically, or something. I don't know. And I don't know if you can make something funny out of it. Poor guy. It's just ridiculous.
Poor guy. Poor Kathleen.
Well, that too.
We're here to make money.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you want to cover this yet, or you want to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. Are you ready to do your maps or not yet?
Not yet. Just
okay.
I'm close.
Okay. So Matt Peterson said, one second here. I hit a county in Texas, have 10% acceptance PA rate within a few weeks.
Jeez.
Not properties in this county online, 7 on LandWatch. This is awesome.
You hit the right county,
Shucks.
man.
So I put a test on Craigslist and had a large response rate for the
Yeah.
buyers. Have you all had this happen?
That's what I
Any
wanna hear.
items I should watch out for in buying a lot of these properties? And other than buy a lot of these properties, that's fantastic.
It is. That's great.
That's what
Congratulations.
you want. So I'm about to acquire, well, we are. I just picked up 11 properties in a really great area where I'm having trouble finding comps. And it's fantastic. I mean, like,
That's
because there's
great,
not a lot for
man.
sale.
Yeah.
I really can't find any.
Yeah.
And what I can find is awesome. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a really, really, really good thing. So, nice job. Okay. Second here. We have, I think it's Michelle. 1 second, I'm jumping around here trying to catch up. Can you provide tips about how to have different business fronts? One for buying, one for buying arm, and one for selling. One for buying arm of business and one for selling.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Want me to answer it, Joe?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I've done it this way for just about my whole career, so I can't speak a lot about having one website, although most of the people that I know, just a sales site, most of the people tell me it works just great, and I believe them. So it's real simple. You put up a website, and it's basically a form. It says, please fill this stuff out. You got to this website because you probably got an offer in the mail. Great. If you would like to expedite the process, please fill out the property that you have in the form that's attached here. And I'll try to get, we'll process your order as fast as possible and make sure if you have any other property to do the same. And it separates entirely and completely separates the fact that you're going to resell it for more. It takes any notion of that out of there. I don't personally think people care that much, but I think maybe some retired people got a lot of time on their hands. They might track how much you sell it. And so I just always have kept it separate, and it's gone really well. Make sure the name of your website, if you're going to do this, the acquisition website, is the same as the name on the letterhead that you send, so it all kind of ties together and makes sense. And then you seriously want to put some history or some credibility about yourself and whoever else is involved, so that the reason that they're going to the website in the first place is to research you. So you want to make yourself look as good as possible, pictures of the kids or whatever you think is going to work for you. But I would recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Thank you. Kyle asked, how do you introduce yourself to a seller when they ask who you are and why you want to buy their land? It seems like some of my calls have been people thinking I was a developer waiting, or I have a developer waiting in the wings or something. Do you say you are a wholesaler? I pretty much do. You know what, Kyle? I kind of say this is what I do. I buy and sell land all day long, and I'm not doing shopping malls, or I have shopping malls or something. And I kind of, in a nice way, I kind of, depending on the property, I'm just say, I just have a lot of properties. This meets my criteria. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna say anything one way or the other that I think I'm gonna, make a fortune off you, kind of thing. I just like, this is what I do. I buy it, and I explain it to them too. I buy it. I don't pay a lot of money. I make it really, really easy, and I turn around and sell it. Sometimes it may take months, to sell, but that's okay. That's what I do. And do you want to add to that, Jack?
No, you nailed it.
Okay.
I actually, what you don't want to do is lie.
Yeah.
Especially if you're pretty established like we are, or some of the other people in the group who are buying and selling houses and are just adding land to what they do. You don't want to lie. You want to just say, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you. I spin it like this. That's why this deal is going to go so smoothly with you. Mm-hmm. I've done 20. We're doing 20 of these right now. We've really organized, and you're going to get your check pretty quickly. It's also why we offer the price is pretty low, because it's our full-time job, it's our business, and we're not here to. We're not a charity organization.
Right.
We're just taking the land off your hands.
Right.
And if that upsets them, then just move to the next deal.
Right. I don't get into a whole lot of detail about what a wholesaler is and anything like that, but I just say, I buy and sell a lot of land, and I know that area really well. And they go, oh, okay. They use it. It's just they feel better knowing that's what you do. And then, too, when they find out that I'm not just hung up on your property, I'm in a very, very respectful way. If some reason they don't want to sell, like, well, okay, you know, I'm kind of moving on to the next guy.
Yeah,
you know,
we're not.
I'm just kind of going down the list here, and I'd like to buy yours. And
With this way we do these mail merges, we've mastered the fact that that person really thinks that they're just getting one offer. That we've just sent these mail merges really work. We're just sending it to them. So that's probably why what's prompting these questions. Hey, is there a freeway going to go in here? Should I hold on to it for 30 more days? That kind of thing. And that's, I think, what they're asking you. You should just say no.
Right.
We send a letter to everybody that within this kind of thing, and we are buying a lot of property for even cheaper than yours.
Right. Exactly. Okay, this is a good question.
Go ahead.
Luke Harris asks, is there any reason to require a buyer to use a notary when they sign a land contract when selling on terms? If we aren't recording anything at the county, it seems kind of unnecessary. Also, are you familiar with using DocuSign for a land contract? Is there any reason not to use DocuSign? Seems like it could really speed up the closing process, and I think that he is totally correct.
I mean, there's something about having a signature notarized. They're taking it seriously and the whole thing. So
Luke Harris, I would do exactly what you're doing. I would use no. No, you know what? I didn't mean to jump on your thing, Jack.
Get it notarized, I think.
Do you know why? Because you're right. Because Luke Harris, you're exactly right. Why am I having a notarized if it's not going anywhere? Because it just makes it seem a little more official. That's it. That's all it is. And if you want to do a DocuSign kind of thing, I think that's brilliant. I think that's really good. Where it's the the electronic signature and everything. I don't remember how much that costs. We've used that.
Remember I said choose your battles earlier? I'm not going to choose this battle with Joe.
Let me answer. You're silly. Okay. All right.
1 second, Joe. I'm putting this document.
Okay, can you just pause here for us?
Yeah, I'm going to put this document right here. It's got this crazy link.
Okay.
And this is the actual link. Oops. I'm putting it in the files section of WebEx.
Oh.
So I'm going to attach it to this actual thing, and then this is what it is. It's every single place on the internet that you can get density maps. For whatever reason, it's pretty, imagine that. The government makes it pretty hard to drill down and find these maps in the census site itself, but some people are reproducing and putting them everywhere. So, and then you're going to find it'll lead you to some other cool stuff. Go ahead, Joe.
No, you want me to cover more on the census. Was there more questions about just how to use it?
Like how to read them?
Yeah. Can you give us like a 30-second?
Did you ever watch the actual cash flow from land program?
I have.
Well, congratulations. You're the only one in our whole organization besides me.
See, I have. You know what? Every single person that we hire gets one, and nobody watches.
Not one person.
We're like, what?
We should make it mandatory.
The heck? You know what we should do? We should like allocate an hour every morning, make them sit there and watch. Today you're watching chapter, and if you know what, if they don't, we're gonna make them watch chapter 5 over and over and over again. So let's memorize. Just kidding. Okay.
I can go over it. I mean, everybody's seen it.
Okay. Well,
I go over it pretty well. If people want that, then type it in and I'll do it.
Yeah, if you do, then we can go back.
Otherwise, there's real important questions.
You're silly. Okay, Matt said, I had 2 signed deeds lost in the mail, had FedEx tracking too, and FedEx can't find it either. What do y'all use for mailing deeds and checks, FedEx, UPS, other? You know what, honestly, I'm a big fan of the USPS priority mail.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I've been using a lot of when I do the signature thing. So just like I ship our programs, that's what I use.
That being said, and you're exactly right, because the post offices that we use are actually relatively efficient. If you use a post office out of Chicago, I was talking to somebody from Jackson, Michigan a few days ago, it's a huge problem. They're extremely inefficient, awful post offices. So consider using UPS. That's my second choice. Actually, in any case, ask for a discount. They will give you substantial discounts if you orchestrate the whole thing online.
Yeah. I think Jerry even said that. I use the same USPS priority with tracking. And then what I do too, you can put in, like maybe I'm sending something to the notary. I put in there that notary's email address so they get the updates and they can kind of watch for the package and they're not bugging me, by the way, and they can see when it's delivered and they're ready for it. Because when I'm sending something to a notary, there's a check in it. So I want them to see it coming and I want them to grab it. And I'm looking for something to knock on, but it goes really well. Kathleen asks, does anyone ever buy vacant, non-residential land?
Heck yes.
Yeah, I was speaking with a seller who told me of another parcel they had who'd like to sell. It's small, about 5,000 square feet, and doesn't really seem to be in a good location, but it raised the question about the value of non-commercial vacant land. What are you looking at? I don't know.
I was honestly concentrating on this.
Oh, sorry. You are
sorry.
Okay. Commercial or non-commercial? Non-residential. Then maybe commercial. You mean commercial, Kathleen? Because I like both. I tell you. When you're, this is the thing about, Jack, you want to, the zoning, I love how it comes, it's easier to zone down,
zone up or zone down
than it is zoning up.
So the concept of zoning up is this. If you have a property that's zoned residential and you're trying to get it commercially zoned, it's a whole different process. That's called zoning up. It's very difficult. You're zoning it from a more difficult use, or not difficult, but more difficult for the county, the county to, or the city, I guess, for zoning, the city to approve. So, but zoning down, if you're trying to take an industrial property and zone it down to residential, it's a lot easier. So.
Good. I guess right. So yeah, if you non-residential but commercial land, love it. You have more options than that. Another nice thing about that is check it. But like stuff like that, you might have a better chance putting mobile homes on it and all kinds of things like that, which because you have more options.
You have commercial property and it's relatively not in an extremely rural area, but an urban area. There's a website called LoopNet, which is kind of like the national MLS for commercial property. And I have done this in the past where you stumble on a deal like this. You get it, you buy it, and you post it on LoopNet. And it does very well. Free entertainment.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I tell ya. All right, we're all good.
Also, on this, was it Kathleen? Yeah, on this commercial thing, man, people are stumbling on some awesome stuff. So,
yeah.
That's why I say don't scrub this list down to just vacant land. A lot of new people make that mistake. They just say rural vacant land and send it to every property type. We don't personally send it to industrial property for a bunch of reasons, but I'm not saying you don't have to. So what you can do is go in here and find out, 40 acres commercial in a relatively urban area, that's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. So take a look on LoopNet and see. There's a ton of land on there. And the guys that are developers are constantly monitoring that site. People who are commercial real estate are extremely busy, and they're very, very lazy. They just want to go to one place. They'll overpay for stuff. They're busy as hell.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, Michelle said, we've been getting some pretty good response from our mailer. We've purchased 4 properties so far and have the purchase agreements for 30-plus acres. Our mailer stated that the offer will remain open until, 11/30/2016. Because of the fluke from hell, our funds are tied up to acquire larger parcel properties. Should I wait until it gets close to the due date to reach out and extend the offer? I already told a few that due to the overwhelming response, there will be delay in moving forward.
Awesome.
I think it's great.
Talk about good problems to have.
Yeah. You know what, Michelle? I don't think that's a problem at all. We've had mailers.
It puts people off for months.
It does, and they even hang on to our mailers even though there's a date on there, and they go, I know this is 5 years old, but are you still interested? And we are, yeah. Most of the time we are, yes.
Just make friends with them.
Sure.
That's what Jill's approach is to all this.
Gosh, yeah. You remember, Michelle, and I know you know how to do this. If it's really that good too, and it's something bigger and worth it, I don't have the money to hand you right now. Or you could even do this. I only have this much money to hand you right now, and you're dead serious because I'm about out of funds this month. But I can do an option. They could either take it, they can hang in there, or you can do an option.
all kinds of stuff.
Thank you.
Or you can reach out to people in Success Plan and partner deal.
That's not a bad idea,
if it's good
too.
enough, if the deal's good enough.
Exactly. Someone will give you $1,000 or whatever it is, and close it and then move on.
You know what you can do is I would do some hybrid version of an option, and really just, if you make friends with the seller, just say, look, we're out of cash this month. I have a buyer, and try to go find a buyer. Market it. Just allow me to market it. I'll find a buyer. We'll close the deal.
Exactly. Jerry said, I just signed up with Lands of America for a prepaid quarter. Do you have any plans with them?
Yeah.
Or should I consider this a fixed cost going forward? I know we will have land stay, but I want multiple avenues. Yeah, it's on my side of the sheet. I'm working on some stuff there, Jerry.
The answer is yes. Continue forward, and I'm in conversations about banner ads with them, and their reach is substantially further than LandWatch's. They have magazines and all kinds of stuff. So it's Lands of America and Land and Farm and all that are the same. So yes, continue forward, but it will be part of this. And
it's probably going to be, Jack and I are tied up with our website stuff this week. So, and then next week we have something we're going to tell you guys a little bit about that we're working on.
Yeah.
But in the next few weeks, Jerry, because you reminded me this the other day about our lovely friends at LandWatch. I just screwed up thing here. Okay. So there's a LandWatch discount coming for our people. So hang in there. I'm going to get that turned on and official as fast as I can. So I have to get with Aaron and get a list of who's all using LandWatch because they totally goofed us up. I am not done with them.
No.
By any means. So I know some of you still are hanging out there with your own separate LandWatch accounts.
This is a special group. Yeah. Thank you very much for your patience. That's that cool what happened, and thank you for your patience.
Exactly. Kathleen. She reached out to the seller with apologies and haven't heard back. Doggone it. Anwar. Jack, there's a nice strand going success plan about how land as an asset and this business model is affected during a recession and how you guys did during 2009. I just saw that today. I hope you would chime in on this. Thanks.
Sure. We got our ass kicked really bad. And here's why. It's not because the real estate business got banged up so bad, or it's not that, we got our ass kicked because we had exactly one sales venue and a stagnant single-page website. And why? Because I got so big for my britches that I said, I'm special, and I don't have to deal with social media. I don't have to deal with the internet that way. We're just going to auction everything off on eBay. And what happened is people stopped buying stuff on eBay, and it kicked our ass. It kicked our ass. So we came back from it, obviously. And I can tell you there's about 8 or 10 people, maybe 8, that are pretty big in this industry, like Land Central, and we all got together and said, what the hell? And all those guys, fortunately we had our terms properties. About 50% of our terms payments dropped off. So we kept those properties, obviously, and sold some of them for cash. So we didn't get killed. But man, what a lesson I learned about sales and diversification. And that's funny because Jerry just said, I don't want to have one sales venue because of America. So that was the real tragedy, single sales venue. And I personally learned a huge lesson about myself that you just can't. And I got I was never on Facebook. I was, proud of it. I'm like, I don't even need Facebook.
Exactly. No one knows who I am.
It led to, in a lot of ways, it led to LandAcademy. It led us to it fueled it was always in the back of my head, but it fueled me to share this because I don't want anyone to get stung like that. So I think what you might be asking too is what's going to happen during the next recession and all this. If you can pretty much, we're not going to have a real estate recession in our lifetime like the last one. That was 1929 stuff. So that's good. But you can bank on a substantial percentage of the term sales deals going south. So probably 25% of the payments that on terms will stop. The good news is you own the asset.
Yeah, you pay cash.
The other thing I see on the internet is there are crazy ways to try to finance these deals. Please don't do that. Just come up with the cash. The margins are good enough. Grow slowly. just pay cash for it. You know, that's the reason that Jill and I are still around, is because we paid cash for everything.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people in this business that are no longer in this business. I don't know if you've ever heard of, I'll think of his name in a second. He had a company called Government Land, Mike Zabowski. Okay. And he's just gone.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is. Does that answer it?
That was great. Thank you. Well, you guys will let us know if you have any more questions. So, good question. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you very much. Kathleen said that's good.
Listen to this. This is how women do stuff. This is awesome.
This is really good, Kathleen. I usually do a wax seal on the envelope containing the cashier's check. I never would have thought of that. To avoid having the notary sneak a peek of the payment amount to avoid those issues. But we can't escape politics.
You put some lipstick on and kiss the envelope?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Do spray it. It's so good. Oh, my gosh. That's funny. Speaking of politics, I keep getting emails like, hey, we saw your brother. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Won't go there. Yeah, the notary should stay out of everything. She's liable for your time in the deal itself. Maybe she should consider keeping her mouth shut and doing her job.
Maybe she should get a letter from an attorney.
Oh my gosh, I know. Or maybe I don't know if you want to go this far, but man, that company whose website she's on, I don't know. Someone needs to know that happened, because that's just not cool.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a battle I would choose. Just like we've chosen a battle with LandWatch.
Yep. I tell you. Jack, that's why I put the cashier's check in a sealed envelope for the notary to hand to the seller. I do that. Notary doesn't know how much a check is for.
Right.
Yeah, I do that too. Further to that, can you speak of the idea of keeping cash deals in one entity and then terms in another?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe if you implicitly trust somebody and you're not married like Jill and I, you should have separate companies with assets over there, and talk to an attorney about that. There's some huge benefits to having a partner with separate companies and a collective company and all of that.
Yeah, I sleep very well at night, because the other night Jack and I were talking about who owns what, and there's more in my name right now, I think, than there is in yours.
It's like ongoing laughing contest.
It is. I'm like, ha.
I think you do have more money than me.
I have more property. So just got a bunch more. We're just putting all the new stuff in my name. I just tell everybody, put it in mine.
It's close, but I think technically you do.
I know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I do, but I'm not sure. That's so funny. Kathleen said, oh, John, I have one LLC with 2 DBAs and 2 separate websites, one for selling and one for buying. Perfect.
That's good.
That is perfect. One LLC with the 2 DBAs. Love it. Jermaine asks, I have a property the owner is willing to sell for $150. He is currently the owner, but I saw a cloud in the title from the owner who sold him the property in 1987. According to the title report, the owner who sold him the property did a quitclaim deed, and claim in the deed they took ownership of the property in 1940, but there's no record of the property owner in 1904 conveying the property to them in 1940. Is this still a deal you would do?
Yes.
What is it? Is it 30 years? What's its standard title?
How did you get this information?
Yeah, Jermaine, I'm curious.
How did you?
Is this our Title Pro? I'm guessing you went and pulled it all in Title Pro.
I'm impressed. It is a deal I would do.
Totally. I think that's great. Well, most title, is it, how many years back?
I just read this. It's like 50 years or 40 years. It's
I know
not a lot.
30 or 40.
Yeah, 30 or 40. They don't go back as far as you think.
Remember exactly. They usually don't. They don't go back.
They don't go back.
Go ahead. Our property type, right? They don't go back to the evolution of whatever.
You mean
homesteading,
yeah.
Right?
I was actually surprised. We were together when we heard about this.
They guarantee it.
That's it. Title policies are only back for 30 years.
Yeah, it's a technical quote unquote guarantee, and that's how far back, 30 to 40 years. So
good research, man.
Yeah. Goodness. The only thing I got to say, don't get too bogged down, because we're talking $150.
So but he's learning, so I think he is. There's a huge difference between how much research you're going to do on a piece of rural vacant property and then buying a commercial office building. You want to go to the nines, get it all insured and everything in a commercial office building.
Oh, yeah, something like that. I'm sorry, I was reading Jerry's thing you'll see here in a minute. You haven't scrolled down far enough. Okay. So many people think we just mail to them. I know. I think it's the greatest thing. And you know what? I want them to feel that special.
Yeah.
So I let them think that.
We just talked about mail merges on a podcast that we recorded. I don't know if it's aired yet. It's like sending a love note to Victoria's Secret models, and you don't want the other models.
Thursday?
Yeah.
It might be coming out today.
It was pretty funny. Well, it was funny for me.
Oh, my gosh. Was it this
You're going
week
to
or
mail a
last
love letter
week?
to 10 girls. You do not want any girls to know that you're mailing it to the other girl. You do it with the mail merge like we do.
We had like 3 shows, I don't know if it was this week or last week, that Jack and I had the giggles, and it was like everything was, you know, borderline inappropriate, but we were laughing so hard.
Right.
So, yeah. That's good stuff. Okay. Michelle said, I have a seller that sent me the purchase agreement back. She said, I've sent a copy of your offer to Alamosa County. That's nice. As your company does not do residential development. Whatever. Our land is next to a bird game reserve. The seller lives in Texas.
Jill, can you point this out while you're reading
This is hilarious. So I thank you, Michelle. I'm adding my personal comments. It's right here, Jack.
Okay.
So the seller sent my purchase agreement back. I've sent a copy, like I'm turning you in for.
Oh, I know. That happens a lot.
That's so, did not do a residential development. I don't kind of have to, by the way. Our land is next to a bird and game reserve, and they live in Texas. That's funny.
I'm going to tell you a couple stories. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
The California Attorney General called me on the 3rd transaction that I did in my lifetime. And it freaked me out. But the guy was so cool from the California Attorney General's office. He's like, look, I know this lady's livid. I got to call you. Just tell me you're not going to do it again. You're not going to do anything with her and all that. And we're going to forget the whole thing. So I did. A bunch of years go by. I sell a piece of property to somebody in Texas. And the deed did not get conveyed properly. And she didn't call me back. She didn't do a darn thing. Okay? I tried to contact her. Years go by. And so I sold the property again. On accident, actually. Usually when properties are like that, you find out you own them still and you sold them, you just let it go back to you never want to sell them twice, you just let them go back. This lady called the Scottsdale investigation, the police department, and I had to pay. Remember that, Jill?
I do remember that.
We had to go to the police office. It was years and years and years ago this happened. Like before Jill, it was before Jill. And Jill had to drop me off to the police office. I had to sit in a contained room for like 20 minutes, and we had to do this paperwork, and the guy's laughing. He's like, I know this is ridiculous. I said, I know, man, but whatever. I'm gonna pay so everyone shuts up. So crazy stuff can happen.
It can happen.
If you're brand new, this is only because we did almost 16,000 deals now.
We've done it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Yeah.
We're not doing anything illegal.
Exactly. And that's
or unethical.
That's the whole point. I guess that's the point of this too. Like Michelle's saying, that they're all excited. Nobody's doing anything wrong. No one's going to come after you for anything. Everybody's legit. If you don't want to sell, fine. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah.
That's cool. All good. Okay, Luke Harris said, I'm starting to run out of money because I'm selling so many properties on terms. So I'm looking for ways to fund my deals that keep coming in. Do you have any recommendations on how to structure doing a deal with an investor, like someone else putting down the money? Is there some kind of written agreement template for doing a deal with an investor in the LandAcademy package?
Do yourself a huge favor, Luke. You're clearly extremely intelligent, and man, I got to tell you, Jill and I were talking about how much participation you have in a success plan. I really appreciate it. Seriously, please do yourself a favor and stop selling on terms so much. Sell it in cash, and just amass $100 grand, and then you'll just. I know it might be painful. You can see the income streams, and all. I've been through that. So just amass $150,000 and forget it. And then just go every other one. One on terms, one on cash. Terms, cash, and you're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can get a partner. You can get an equity partner the people talk about it in those groups in Facebook all the time. But whatever you do not pay interest or get a big, get a partner that understands this business who's going to do deals with you where you're going to split it, whatever the numbers end up being. Don't just get somebody who's like a money lender and they lend like to a laundromat and then they lend to you. That's a mess. There's big contracts and all kinds of silly stuff.
You know, Luke, you're good enough. I've watched people in our group kind of partner up, and one person's kind of like, hey, like I'm just going to start funding these things, and I do this part of the business, and you do that part of the business, and then everybody wins. So, you know, that's kind of what our deal board and stuff is too. If you want to start, you know, looking at working with somebody that's got, you know, more money, because you clearly got the deals, you know, it's not crazy.
Look, if you haven't been on Facebook, in some of these groups, there's land groups out there. There's money people in there all the time begging to find somebody like you.
That's very true. Exactly.
But don't stop inputting stuff to Success Plan because it's awesome.
Yes, I agree. All right. Karia said, funny story. We got a voicemail from a realtor who says, you sent letters to a bunch of my clients. She says most of the properties we've mailed out are listed with her company. Then she says, give me a call. I have questions and maybe I have some other property you can buy. I loved it. You know that I've made friends with a lot of realtors just because it's stuff they don't want to deal with. You know, these properties, a lot of the properties, it's hard to, you know, some of these vacant lands, they're not going to sell for $50,000. It's got to be north of $50,000, I would think, for a realtor to really make it worth their while with their interest, for their commissions and whatever. So I have a lot of realtors that love people like us, and they're just going to start throwing deals your way. Just like, hey, this guy called me. They don't even want anything from it, by the way. They just hand you the deals. Like, it's too small for me to even think about. This guy's just happy I know somebody, you know, kind of thing, because she's trying to keep him for the homes and all that other stuff. So that's really, really good. So
do you ever see in the movies when a girl slaps a guy and then she kisses him? It's like that.
It's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love it. Thank you, Jerry. I hear ya. Diversity. Yep. I do a face peel on my husband. That's great. That's what I started laughing about a few minutes ago. That was so good. Jermaine. Oh, I usually do a 40 search. Okay, it goes back that far. Okay, I gotcha.
Can you do that, Joe? In Title
Pro?
Are
you doing it? Oh, I did the title search myself and ordered from a title company.
Okay.
Hey, Jermaine, you can get a lot of stuff in Title Pro. So our Title Pro 24/7 is for title companies. So don't spend too much money on some of that stuff. Although, however, having a title report is always great. To be sure you attach it to your property when you go to sell it and you advertise it that it comes with a title report, because everybody loves that if you go that far. Shell says, terms deals have become very popular, especially this time of year as people are preparing to save for the holidays. Oh.
Yeah, you know, hey, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
If these companies you have that you all are starting are anything like ours, you can plan on shutting your doors at around December 15th and reopening them around January 5th, right?
Jill says that's changed over the years.
Oh, really?
So I still, every year I go in thinking that, Jack, and then I sell something on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, or New Year's or Christmas Day.
Yeah, let me pause for a second on that.
You did change the thing on that.
Because here's what I found. After the family leaves, you know, and the gift opening is done, a lot of people are in on their computers like they're not going to work today. What else am I going to do? I'm going to buy some property. It's the funniest thing, but I've seen a spike.
Yeah. My attorney, who's also one of my best friends, goes to his office on Christmas Day. Because he can't.
Like at 9 a.m. on purpose.
Like, I can't believe this is my family.
Silly. Yes. Kathleen said that if she were that girl, she'd be pissed at you about the mail merch thing, the Victoria's Secret mail merch.
Yeah, you know, you're not alone, Kathleen, because I have a 45-year history of disappointing women. So.
Listen to
Luke
Luke
the
Smith.
latest one.
Luke is so great. I want to have an inventory of all the creative things that Luke has taken for property, because now it's a motorbike. The guy's in Florida, he's in California, he wants to, how do I close it, get the motorbike? Ship me the motorbike. If I like it, I'll ship you the deed. I don't know.
I don't know either. I got a box full of diamonds once. And I
great.
took him to a jeweler, and the guy's like, I told him the story. This is early on, and I absolutely did the deal. At a box full of raw loose diamonds for a 40-acre property, and I won.
Yeah.
Big.
That's great. So, yeah, I don't know how to do that, other than if you can hire somebody locally to go.
There's a company called We Go See It, or We Go Look, I think.
We Go Look. We Go Look.
We Go Look, and they're like, a lot of classic car guys use them to go make sure the car's okay, and they take videos, and they start the car and the whole thing.
That's a great idea. Start it up and videotape it so you can kind of hear it.
I wish I would have thought of the company.
But that's We Go Look.
Yeah, I wish I would have thought starting the company.
You're so funny. Who's on first?
And who says motorbike? The hell's a motorbike? Are you from England?
Exactly. Here are some more questions for you, Luke Smith. That's so good. Nice. Korea sent 750 mailers, and she got more acceptances than she can handle. I love
750?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I just had listen to this. So in these Facebook groups, this guy's having real trouble. You might be on the call. So I said, for free, I'm going to talk to you for a half hour. We'll figure this out together. And you know what happened? He used Agent Pro 24/7 data, and he licked the stamps himself. If you don't know this, these bulk mail companies run this mail through a pretty serious real-time piece of software to make sure that the return to sender thing doesn't happen. So one of the reasons, and I don't talk about it enough, one of the reasons that you need to use a professional bulk mail company like we use, and we're about to release LandAcademy's version of it too, is because they run it through 3 pieces of software that really solve a lot of these problems, and you don't get charged for the ones that don't go out. So don't lick stamps. If you're licking stamps, please consider stopping. Plus, it's not good for you.
Toxic. Time to cherry pick the deal. Yep. Oh, good. Hey, Michelle will go out there and he'll pick up the bike for him. Problem solved. I love it. Kathleen said, oh, good. I got a merchant account set up to process payments. What's your best e-commerce platform to use on your website? My web designer suggests WooCommerce.
Yeah, Woo's best.
Are there any other options?
Make sure there's an API between Woo and whoever your merchant is.
I wonder if Kathleen's web designer is our web designer.
Oh, I wonder too.
So our web designer is rather busy right now. But he has a team.
If you need a website done, reach out to us.
Yep.
Because our COO has a full-blown IT company, and he can kick one out. And he knows this business backwards and forwards. So he can really, he knows all the issues that are going to arise, and he'll just, not issues, but he just knows what to tackle. So, cool. And it's super cheap.
Tom Dieter says, I'm purchasing a property from a gentleman whose deceased wife is on the deed. When I called the recorder house about this, a person told me verbatim what to put on the deed so that they would be fine with recording, even though it was not JTROS, which is Joint Tenants with Rights or Survivorship Deed. Any reason I should be leery of this? Seems too simple.
I kind of agree with her. I mean, you don't want to, why would they not do joint tenants?
This is true. You might want to run it through one more, I wonder what county and what state, because here's my only thing. Most recorders don't want to volunteer that information.
Yeah,
they're pretty quick to say, I'm not legal advice. I just record what comes my way, and I put a stamp on it, and I send it on. And then if there's a problem, the assessor catches it and kicks it back, which is really how it goes. So, you know?
Oh, so this is on the acquisition side. No. So I would do what they say, Tom. I'm sorry. I thought it was on the sales side.
He's buying it.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
He's buying, but he's laying out. Well, you know what? You know what? You're right. Because if you're outlaying the money, this is good. If you're outlaying the money and there is any problem, and you have a copy of the death certificate in your hands, make sure you get that, which I would send in also. Usually you do, to prove that the person's not really with you. And then they send it back to you, and then I keep a copy of it, but I send the real death certificate back to the original person. So they have it because they're not cheap. That's how I handle it. But yeah, if anything does go sideways on the buy side, I've had that where things got screwed up and I said, you know what, we got to redo this deed. I already paid you. I need to send you this. Can you get down to the bank and get this done at some
Right.
point this week? And I've never had anybody not be cool about it. So that's good.
Brett, Tom, I'm going to brag about you, and I'm not going to use any proper nouns. So Tom and I had a deal review call about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. And he is buying a tremendous amount of incredibly valuable property in a state, in an area that I would have bet a ton of money that he would have had a terrible response in an awful scenario. This is why I say don't just mail counties and stuff that we use examples for. Like a lot of people, because I use Nevada and Mojave County, Arizona in the program, in the package, they think those are the good counties to use. And Tom is a glaring perfect example. He's buying tons of extremely valuable infill lots. And this is a guy who got his butt kicked about 10 years ago, real estate investing, and watched and looked at our stuff. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to get back into this, because he thought it was over forever. So, man, I'm glad that you're doing that's awesome. I'm glad that these deals are coming to fruition. Yeah. He's meeting people in this area that have tons and tons of property, and they're starting to age in place pretty seriously, and their kids aren't interested. He's doing everything right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
He's got a cash machine right ahead of him, I'm sure of it.
I love it. Tom also asked, while I was taking pictures of my properties, I noticed a little realty shop selling these cabin and vacation lots and homes. Is there anything unwise about listing with a specialty realtor at retail while selling on the Platinum list and other venues for wholesale?
No, there's nothing unwise about it. I love it, actually. In fact, I think we talked about it on the call, and I've talked about it several times with another member. If you're buying a lot of properties like Tom is, and invariably some of them are going to be crazy valuable. Those are not. It's not silly to list those on the MLS. But know this: agents almost always will not do what's called an exclusive deal, a non-exclusive deal. So if they do, even if it does sell in a different venue from the agent, you have to pay them. So,
you have to pay their commission.
And you know what? I don't necessarily disagree with that. They're going to do all the work and all that. Deal happens.
I agree.
Just make sure you worked it all into the budget.
Exactly. Good. Ron said, can you address what functions LandAcademy will handle regarding credit cards in the future? Oh, I'm so excited.
Me too.
Will you be like
Yes,
Stripe
we will
and
be
handle
Stripe.
the merchant account processing gateway?
Yes.
And all we would have to do is have a platform like WooCommerce on our website. Want to be prepared when you flip the switch next week.
So, we'll take it a step further, Ron. We'll actually do the website for you. So it's all connected and it works perfectly. I mean, if you already have a website, we'll install the API for you. You know, why banks don't do this and more is beyond me.
Yeah.
It's a pretty profitable little gig, and they should offer way more service, and especially because we're like business specific or industry specific, we know what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
Our web team is in-house.
Our web team
our people
is worldwide, is top notch.
Yeah.
I mean, we pulled out the stops.
So they're with us full time, and they're not leaving because we won't let them. I don't know if they're on this call, but we won't let them. Good question. I love the next week thing because that's how Jack rolls. We're gonna do that tomorrow.
They're not on this call because they're working.
Oh, that's true. We have them pretty tied up, don't we? They can't afford the hour out of their day right now.
Like the honeymoon period's over.
Right. All right. You're so funny. All right. It's Kyria. I know we talked about it, and I always get your name wrong. I think it's Kyria. We sent a 5-acre property. We spent on 5-acre properties and multiple people offering larger parcels that are offering larger parcels that they have also.
Okay.
Some of them in different states. Our mailer was to a West Texas county.
Cool.
That's great. Jerry, so true. People actually waste postage. Yeah, by sending it back. Isn't that hilarious?
Isn't that funny?
Oh, my gosh.
That happens to me, too.
I love it.
And they say the awful stuff on that. Yeah.
Put
the
save the money for therapy. I love it. Save your postage. And maybe that was the therapy. They needed to write that down and release that energy.
Maybe.
That's so. You know what, Kathleen? Save those. I think that's hilarious. Jack used to save those because he thought it was so funny. So it was good. Michelle said, in my last mailer of 3,200 letters, I created a test mailer to myself just to see when I got them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do this? And
yes.
if so, how many do you do? I also sent a letter for every couple of hundred, but after getting 10 letters, I felt it was a waste.
Yeah. So what I do is, I've never,
You know, our guys,
talked about this.
We all know our guy's doing his job.
I absolutely send him a mailer, and I use different names. Like, I use different names, so they can't even. And I send it like I'll send one to my sister. Yeah, I play little games like that, absolutely, to make sure the printer's doing their job.
Not crazy. And it is nice to know when your letters are hitting.
Yeah.
That's
and
the thing
if they're
too.
actually sending them out. There was a point in time where I used this is a lot of years ago. I used a printer, and they collected all the money, and I found out they just never sent anything out. They never spent any money. It blew my top.
Yeah.
This is before you.
Thank you. Let me add them.
That's another reason is to throw your, and that's the reason I found out is because I never got a letter.
Right. That's why we trust. You have to meet people and trust them. I mean, and our guy came to us from one of our members, and we love him. I mean, he's on it. Okay. Oh yeah, and Tom followed up that she would not email me, but she recited the verbiage. So cool. All right. Luke Smith said, and I have two things to say at the end. FYI, it's 4 o'clock. So
we can go over a little bit.
Yeah, if you guys are cool, we're going to keep on going, answer these other questions. I have 2 things to say at the end. Kind of cool stuff. Luke Smith,
These are such good questions now.
I got a buy of 7 40-acre properties in northern New Mexico in a trust.
This is my favorite kind of stuff here.
The trustee is dead. The successor trustee is dead. The son is ready to sell. County clerk says they do probate, local title. They do probate. Local title company seems lost. Any advice? They're in a big lake. I really want them.
Yeah.
Like $50,000 comps for $4,000 each. Oh, that's worth it. Yeah,
yes,
you got to do all
I'll
the
call
homework.
a law firm.
Wow.
I know they're worth way more than that. I know what you're talking about, and I think I would go to Santa Fe.
Wow.
Find a law firm in Santa Fe. Like, start with a family law firm, not a real estate law firm. Real estate attorneys don't know anything about probate and stuff. And you might have to reprobate the whole estate, and it might cost you $8,000 or something. But man, large acreage properties with access in northern New Mexico are worth tons and tons of money. If they're on a lake or close to a lake, and there's only a couple lakes up there, they're worth way more than $50,000.
Thank you. Hey, Kathleen, I can help you with this. I can help everybody with this. Does anyone know if there's an online method of accessing property information in Baca County, Colorado? Assessor's website doesn't really have much, nor a link or a search engine. Gosh, Title Pro. You go to the top and do a property search, I believe it is, in Title Pro 24/7.
Which you have a subscription to?
You do, Kathleen. You pop in the APN, and when you start to type in the county, it'll give you the drop-down. Choose a drop-down, and then click search. It's going to pull up your property for you. And then you have the option when you click on it to do a property report, and it gives you everything. It gives you GPS coordinates. It gives you all the property details, all the assessor details of the taxes are current or not. It gives you the parcel size, the legal description. It gives you neighbor information. It gives you recent foreclosures in the area, demographics. I mean, these little reports that we have all at our fingertips are phenomenal. So get in there, Kathleen. Play around with that. So good stuff. Ron says, are you working on something? Can I ask you a question?
I'm working on Luke Smith's budget on this deal.
Oh, you're hilarious. Ron, this is a good question, Ron. Thank you. And I'm so glad that Ron is learning how Jack rolls. Everybody kind of knows. If you're new to our group, this is what Ron just did is exactly how Jack rolls.
Okay,
he says tomorrow, but it's really first quarter.
Is that what he said?
He said that. Can you please nail it down to a quarter?
Yeah, you know why they get that idea? From you, Stacy.
Well, it's true. Oh, here comes Stacy. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. Yes. So, can we do, Jerry said, Luke, that is freaking awesome.
It's ridiculous.
I get the word awesome. Thank you.
Look at that.
Luke says, I'm keeping the royalties.
Look at that.
Yep. Nice. Roads and paying oil and gas royalties looking at the lake.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Get the deal. Oh my
he'll
God.
do
So
it.
it's closer to this.
Okay, so what did we decide on the strike? Can I say first quarter? Because that's, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
say
dude,
Ron.
I'm not joking. Look, you're going to make $1 million on this deal. I would really, really sit down with an attorney. And so this is the kind of stuff that happens. Remember, Joe? You hit one out of, when you do it at that level, you hit one out of the park once a year.
Yeah. You need to do that. That's fantastic. All right. I'm going to give you my 2 things real quick here. So my announcements. Okay, number 1 is, I don't know how much I can share. Okay, well, let me get to the number 1 last. Okay. Kidding. First thing I want to say is thank you to the people who sent me those overwhelming, unbelievable, heartfelt testimonials. I sent a note out to everyone here in an email a couple nights ago because we're redoing our website. It's going to relaunch on Monday. It's going to be gorgeous. And our team said, we need some testimonials. So I said, all right, I want to do this. I'm going to ask our gang. And I can't believe the stuff that's come back to me. And I'm going to not cry, but
it was amazing. I cried.
I know. You guys,
we're really, this is a good idea to start this thing.
I know.
You know what? I didn't want to do this. And Jill said, you know what? We're doing this. The
LandAcademy.
whole LandAcademy thing. A few times while I was filming, I said, I don't need this. I don't need this. We're doing great.
Yeah.
We're killing it. And so you can thank Jill.
Yeah. Well, and then, so thank you, everyone. And it's not too late. And if you still want to send us a little something, I would love it. Thank you very, very much. The second thing I want to say is, like Luke's thing, you never know what deals are going to land in your lap. And Jack and I are right now staring with an unbelievable opportunity that we're going to have to move our call next week.
Oh, yeah, we are. Because
of this opportunity. So I'm letting everybody know right now, next week's call, we're going to hold it on Wednesday because we're going to be gone Thursday and Friday up in Northern California for this meeting. So just remember, next Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
It's funny. It's a good story. Tell it. I mean, without using any names. Can you?
There's an A-list celebrity. Oh, God, how do I say that? There's an A-list celebrity who we're in discussions with about flipping ranches.
So she owns a ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And she grew up, long story short, she's very knowledgeable. She's not like an idiot actor.
Mm-hmm. We'll tell you who it is after everything's signed. I just can't say her name yet.
And so we're all having dinner and talking and stuff about, and then she finds out what we do. And she's the first one in the group that understands that we're not real estate agents and we're not going to try to sell you a house.
Exactly.
And so she's like, well, I have ranches and stuff, and I'd love to buy more. And I said, well, why don't we, listen to this. I said, why don't we, this is after like 10 bottles of wine, why don't we go and find you a bunch of property that's like 20 or 30% of what it's actually worth? And then you do some crazy ranch stuff on it for like a month, take some pictures, maybe we can make a tiny little 5-minute movie about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ranch crap, like driving trucks around and, you know, maybe we even put up a little thing like ranches have with us, you know, in the front of them, like
the
in
big
the movies.
Entrance and the gate coming in.
Then we mark it up like $5 million because if this is in an area of California where, you know, a ranch is $40 million.
That's right. Yeah.
We mark it up $5 or $6, $10 million, and we split the margin.
Yeah.
And she's like, yippee-ki-yay.
Will Ferrell.
No, it's a girl.
No, it's a girl.
Will Ferrell.
That's awesome. Because it's just funny. That's great. I love it. You guys, I'm dying to share who it is, and you guys are gonna fall.
No, don't do that.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Don't share who it is.
No, I'm not. I can't.
We don't have.
I don't have everything signed, but it's coming.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna meet with her next week. I can give you an example though. It's like, you know, okay.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
No, not that kind of example, silly. Like there's celebrities that are already doing this, but they do different things.
Yeah.
So, but
right.
All right, it's gonna be cool. What did he say? She needs more cowbell.
Oh, I think she gets enough cowbell.
Love it. I
think she gets whatever she wants, actually.
So I got to tell you, this is what's just so funny, and I guess the whole point of this is this was not what we were expecting, and then here we are meeting up with this person. They're like, hey, come. So she said, come stay at my ranch.
Yeah. So then we're gonna brand it.
Stay at a ranch next week.
Brand the ranch as a ranch that she has owned.
Yeah.
And her name's on a deed and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And there's people crazy enough to say, I'll pay more for that ranch because she owned it. And there's a little movie that comes with it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's right. Thank you, Jerry. Isn't this right now, I'll tell you, this is one of those things that Jack and I keep saying, no new projects, no new projects.
That's why we never get anything done. Stuff like this happens.
So we really had to sit down and cut a lot of things off. But this one we're going to move forward with because you just have to.
Somebody approached us to do a Jack and Jill children's clothing line.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I said, there's no way.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this.
Exactly. So that's a whole other story. It's because Jack is so fashion sense. Just kidding.
I had a blast at Sears a few days ago. That's how fashion sensitive.
Oh, yes, exactly. All right. Well, thank you. Anything else, Jack, that you have for everybody?
No. Anybody's got...
Pearls in a safety pin. That's right, Kathleen.
Yeah, pearls in a safety pin.
With Versace. I love it. Oh, my gosh. Kathleen, I got to tell you, we were at our studio. I don't know if you guys saw our Facebook with our Halloween thing that we were at our studio. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. And there was a guy head to toe in Versace. And, right, Jack thought the guy was joking. I'm like, no, that really is Versace.
I thought it was a costume.
No.
I was like, no, that's that.
I'm not kidding, Kathleen. It was the funniest thing. He hit the
someone needs to take that guy aside and say, dude, stop that.
70-year-old drummer.
Yeah.
He was like a former studio drummer, right? And he's head to toe in Versace. Even on his pockets on his jeans are Versace. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That guy's not gay. There's no chance that he's ever going to get a woman.
It was really, I don't even know his name. We never got his name. It was so darn funny. I bought a set of Versace snow tires at Sears. Mike, that is fantastic. Oh,
awesome.
They sell Versace at Sears. Because Jerry said they sell Versace at Sears. So, Jack, when you're looking next time, that's what we're going to do. Oh, this is great. A Versace with my truck. Oh, this is so
There's some
funny.
foo-foo crap out here in California that's really, it's just over the line.
Oh, man. It's diamond studded. That is great. All right, so next week, remember, call on Wednesday, and we won't be able to say anything yet, but maybe
send that thing out?
the week. Oh, yeah, it's going to go out. It'll have the Wednesday date on it next week.
Okay.
So everybody will
Great.
remember. So,
okay.
yeah. And then, and it'll be updated in the message board.
I should have done this.
And then, next week will be Wednesday. And then the week following that, we might be able to leak a little something. We'll see we'll see how next week goes with our meeting. So it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. Gosh, it's 4:11 our time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Glad you're here. Jack?
3 o'clock Wednesday next week. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.